Well, hi guys, hopefully this finds you very well. My name's Paul, this is Plan Zed, and hopefully this, as I say, this finds you very well wherever you are. Now, if you've been following this little team up with ToneX and GT1000, it's day 14. I haven't recorded any videos on this subject for about 10 days. And what I've done is I've built 15 patches. What I haven't done is integrate amp changes with MIDI because I haven't planned the songs out yet. I want to be able to just test different things out through the same patches here and have the freedom to do that, although it's a bit clumsy. But what I do want to kind of start out by saying is I've ended up in a very different place with how I'm setting up the ins and outs and things like this. So I just want to cover that very quickly and then hear a bunch of different amps and talk about different things that I was having a problem with until I made these changes and where I've ended up. Okay, so coming into the input output settings in the global on the ToneX, the input trim I've currently got at 0. Okay, and if I come out of there, I've got the output at 0. So this is 0 dB. Coming out of there, we've got the master knob here on 10. Okay. As I say, we'll hear a bunch of different amps in a minute through different things, but I just want to get this part of the process nailed. So I'm running the unit like that. Our signal comes in GT1000. I've got all my guitars going through Gig Rig 321, comes into the input. We get sent out of the send return here, running the send return, stereo link off, running it in normal mode. Got the send level at 100 as that's instrument level, but I've ended up at 70. I think it was at 70 in one of those 3 videos I did. 70 here is the return level, running this with, remember, at 0 everything. Now there is a bit of EQ, but we'll talk about that because there's a relationship here going on. Now knowing that we've leveled the unit generally globally like that, we've got control over the input gain when you read the manual, which I finally had a little look at. And that manual is a nightmare if you're only using your phone, you're not using computers and things. You don't want to print off 500 pages of stuff that is a bit like a Boss manual. It says, oh, this... So with the EQ frequencies, they don't tell us what the EQ is actually doing. It just tells us that there's a Q and there's a frequency, but it doesn't tell us if we're cutting, boosting, things like this. Do you understand? So it's like there's and that's on all the subjects, and there's like 500 odd pages of stuff to go through. You go, you're telling me a lot of nothing. I can see what that is on the unit. Tell me what it does. Would be useful information, but assuming that it's mostly cutting that the EQ does, what I'm doing is I'm leveling the input with the gain on the amp, okay, and then the level here, I'm getting the overall level of the patch, okay. So if I come with this knob to model level, click into there, I'm at 55. If I go to the gain, what was that, 20 something? 27. So I've got the gain on 27. Let's but for example, with this tone model, and I'm going to call it a model, although, you know, people will be like, it's a capture, you twat. Well, okay. But I'm going to use it like it's a model, even though the gain pots and things aren't reacting as if. I'm using that snapshot to... Okay, so now we've got a bit of gain. I'm going to come into the master level here, and I'm going to pull this back. Okay, so coming out of that patch for a moment into the next one, this is a version of that. That's the original one that came in the unit, and this is a copy of the one where I've just cleaned it up. Using those principles that I showed you there. Now with the EQ, when we come into here, where the model level is, scroll all the way along. I've got the compressors and things off. The bass frequency we can roll off at different places. For these amps I'm at 300. The mids, I've got my Qs on 70. The frequency at 750 for this amp, but you know, it's different for some of the other amps that we'll look at. So oh, sorry, I just came out of there a little bit too soon, a little bit too cocksure of myself there. Now with the treble frequency, when the unit comes, this is down to about 2.2 or 1900, 2K, something like that. But I've put them all at 4K just to open them up so that I can, with my mastering EQ here in GT1000, I've now got more control of the frequencies. There's more frequencies coming through to me, okay? Give me a slightly brighter tone. Now as I come out of the send return here into the EQ blocks using parametric EQs, the settings are as follows: 0, 0, plus 2 on the level, because we're taking out 3 dB on a Q of 1 of 315 Hertz, and we're doing our low cut to 125 Hertz. Then in the next block, I'm kind of gain staging the low, so bring the low gain up by 1. I bring the high gain up by 1 because I'm dealing with highs here, and I bring the level up by 1, so plus 1, plus 1, plus 1. Then here I'm taking out 2.5K on a Q of 8 minus 3, and 4K minus 8, Q of 8 minus 5, high cut to 10K. Now I could take as much of that 4K as I want. It will, you know, it will give me a harmonic frequency around 8K, which, you know, has a bit of presence. That's quite nice. But I just want to point out to you, at the end of the chain, I do have an end of the chain compressor that I'm running in stereo. The settings are 50, 30, 38. 0. I'm running a 1.2 to 1 ratio at the moment. I'm going to play around with this as we go through the gains over the videos. Direct mix at 30. The output is set to line out, stereo link on, all the mics, levels are off, but the direct mix is up at 100. Okay, so I can't remember if I changed anything there. I don't think I did. So in here, one of the things that I was having a problem with, and how I ended up at these levels for the input and output, is I was finding boosts and things just didn't work very well at all. Now, being mindful that we're trying to create an analog sound using 100% digital gear, the only thing analog here is me and the guitar, and I'm floored. So, getting boosts to respond well and work and sound authentic, importantly, without digital artifacts and things, I found this was the way to go. Now this is my clean Clon boost, Clon Centaur copy GT1000. Let's go to a slightly hotter patch. Open up the back pickup. And the patch next to it, I've got the same thing but slightly dirtier. In this patch I've got a tube screamer, also, I'm just going to do a little sound check or something. If I engage, I've got an external foot switch, two of them. One's doing bank up, one down, bank up, bank down, and the other one is dealing at the moment. One of the assigns is a reverb. I'm just going to turn that reverb on. Turn off the tube screamer, put on a compressor, go clean. Going to bring in some shimmer with that. Gonna add a bit of univibe to the reverb. Ring modulation to that. Now I'm going to be covering the assigns for this patch. I'm going to take away the shimmer but leave the other effects. I'm going to cover the assigns for this patch in an assigns and controls deep dive into the GT1000. I won't have set up the MIDI yet to ToneX because I want to understand things a bit more before I go mapping things out, before I've actually got my arrangements right, while I'm still in this experimental phase. Well, that's sounding nice in here. Let's go to this patch over here, where I'm actually running a GT1000 amp in stereo. I haven't actually dialed in the GT1000 to level it yet. I've just been focused very much on getting this ToneX up and running. ToneX, two notes, it's all too much ToneX. Let's just going to go to a bit more gain. So we're going to have on the left, you can hear we've gone to a higher gain channel already if you're in headphones. Let's turn on some gain on GT. Let's give ourselves a bit of verb. Nice when I set the MIDI up that I've just got one button press and it will take me back to where I want to go to. Oh, went the wrong way. Look, see, look, manual. I'm going to make mistakes, isn't it? It'd be nice when that's mapped out. We've got a blues driver in here. To you, that sounds brilliant in the room. I really like a blues driver as well. We're going to dial in blues driver in different ways. Now in this patch here, we've already got a compressor arm. Let's go to the lighter gain. If you remember a little while ago, I did a video where I was trying to kind of get close to a Strymon cloud. So this is kind of in the flavor of that. So I've done a copy of that patch. If I go up a bank to here, now the reverb's going to cut off because I put some effects in the way of the spillover, but hopefully those effects are going to give me a more choral type sound. A little help from the police there if you're in headphones. nice about this patch is when I go into the manual mode, if I disengage from the reverb, so we're dry there, I can just take my wet channel nice, huh? Okay, so let's try out a few other things. So a little while ago I was dialing in a Rotary patch review, so I'll stick some verbs on. Way round I've done it now. I'll have another one next to it. Just gonna go in here, have a little look at what I've got going on. I can't remember which way round I've done it. Is it that? Actually, before we go any further, what I want to do is I'm going to go to this patch here, come in, turn off the compressor. Let's now get up to... Right, so I've cleared out an area up top here. All of these will need leveling, I need to look at them. But let's start off here. Now this is like a generic Fender, I don't know what it's meant to be, but starting out on the neck pickup. off the verbs. Supro in here. Haven't changed the name of the patch, I have changed the location. Taking that off, get a boost on. Right, that's nice. Very dynamic, it works well, the combination. This feels lovely. Okay, so we've got another Supro here. Okay, I'm liking how the dumbbells are sounding with different boosts and drives and effects and things like that. Before I go away, I just want to hear one last thing, see if it does actually work. I'm going to go to my cloud patch. Let's go solo. So I might even try taking a loop of that. So let's come crashing in. Anything, just listening to the loops there. That sounds nice. Feeling lovely in here. Okay, so to cut to the chase, a very long story short. If you get one, keep one. Play around with it. You're going to find stuff in here, even without downloading stuff. I haven't downloaded anything. I'm just playing with the unit here. And I've really only been playing with the dumble. Went away, experimented with a couple of others, came back, understood where I was going wrong. And I feel like I'm getting somewhere. Hopefully that audio sounds good. I think I'm getting the best tones I've had in ever. I say ever, over the last couple of years, since going digital. Lovely jubbly. See that reverb one last time and then I'm gone.